our case study goals, for them, government, NGO governance and conflict transformation, of course, the Virginia Coastal Zone Management and the very first Virginia Ocean Plan, as I mentioned in the introduction, which is just kicking off next month, understanding how governmental, non-governmental players have navigated marine governance and use conflicts over the last 10 years in the Mid-Atlantic region, and also supporting the Virginia Coastal Zone Management team that's leading that effort to develop its first ocean plan. We are, I should say, I'm a facilitator and mediator, and particularly pleased to see practitioners, on this dialogue forum as well. Practitioners of various sorts. So, so Mid-Atlantic coastal region, just in brief, New York to Virginia, extending seaward out to 200 miles from the shoreline, about 34 million people living along this coastal zone. 14%, about $2 trillion of the US GDP is generated in this region. The submarine canyons, 70 to 100 miles off the shoreline, important migratory corridors for fish, turtles, birds, other marine animals. The 29% of Virginia's land area is within the coastal zone, but over 60%, 4.9 million of Virginia's community members actually live in this area. So again, about 30% of the land area, but 60% of the population. And the Virginia Coastal Zone Management Program is the lead agency coordinating the Virginia ocean planning process. And the bay, you can see the bay there, it's sort of outsized because we're not showing the ocean, right? But it is outsized in terms of attention that is paid to it in Virginia. Historically, far more attention paid to that than offshore in the Atlantic. So the potential and current regional conflicts, so expansion, certainly of alternative energy development, such as offshore wind, growing public awareness around climate change and sea level rise, water quality issues, and of course, this is true everywhere, I think, but increasing amounts of plastics, microplastics, increased activity in offshore areas that threaten marine habitats. In the US, there's no specific entity solely in charge of managing domestic ocean activities. So the multi-state network, nicknamed MARCO, that's the subject of this case study, does not have regulatory authority, and its ability to drive implementation is limited. In 2016, the Trump administration essentially defunded the regional planning efforts of MARCO, so delaying their ability to accomplish its goals. Part of this research will monitor how the planning process moves forward under new federal regulations and management introduced by the Biden administration. So we've been connected, with the Virginia Coastal Zone, the Virginia Ocean Planning lead, Laura McKay, who's head of the Virginia Coastal Zone Management Program. So I feel as though we've been jogging in place, jogging in sand for month after month after month, but it's so good that it's actually going to start in October 2021. Not really resuming, it's actually kicking off. And then we will also be speaking this month or next month with the new board chair of MARCO, which is the Mid-Atlantic Regional Council on the Ocean. So that's a looking back at what they've been doing the last 10 years. And the different stakeholders, state agents, for the Virginia's planning process, William and Mary Coastal Policy Center, Virginia Aquarium, Virginia Commonwealth University, the MARCO program director, and so forth. I do want to add that, let me get out of the slides, actually. I just want to add that, most everybody here, it'd be impossible to underestimate the political polarization that exists within our country, and also the increasing awareness of race and equity, and particularly racial equity, and that the framework that we are bringing to the work for Virginia is a framework of equitable collaboration. So centering equity in the process as well as in the desired outcomes. Not that it's the only element of that, but there's been increasing attention paid. The governor had a summit on equitable collaboration. Governor of Virginia had a summit on equitable collaboration this spring. So we got a lot going on.